So this is unbreakable practice of a scripture and God. So we didn't need a written format to preserve the Quran.
So you're just describing how the Bible was preserved as well. Then?
No. I'm just saying the Bible.
Yeah,
the Bible
is that what you
it's not the
just
same.
said there? It's the same.
It's not the same. Why is it not the same?
Why not?
Remember I said to you the Quran have an unbreakable thing there. Unbreakable of something that's practically people like that they have to be saying and reciting every day, as well as living. But look at the difference now. The difference now with the Bible now. Okay. The Bible scholars consensus tell you this. When Bart Ehrman was debating James White, who was speaking on the other side and defending it, he couldn't challenge that point. There's a 20-year gap between Jesus and the first writing about. Now we don't know what happened within that 20-year gap. That's a break in the chain. That's a break in the chain.
What's that?
The Bible says there's a 20-year gap between Jesus and the first writing.
Yeah, well,
that we don't know what happened with the 20 years. Is that a break in the chain?
Yeah, but there's a...
Is that a break in the chain? 20-year break in the chain. We don't have that break in the chain.
Yeah, you do. It's between your prophet and Bukhari, isn't it? Al-Bukhari.
Are we talking about Quran here, don't you?
Yeah, but here's the thing. How, you know when you pray...
We're talking about Quran here now.
Yeah, no, but what do you
talking about Bible. Christians tell me the Bible is the word of God. We say the Quran is the word of God. That's why we're talking about that.
That's fine.
As I've said to you, when we pray, we recite verse. We don't recite. When we pray, we don't recite hadith. We recite verse from Quran.
How do you know? What sequence?
I just tell you about the preservation thing there. I just tell you it's impossible for that to change, because something for one, have ruling, not just empty male ruling. You tell you don't say one who have disrespect to their parents. You tell him about people who have parents. I'm saying to you, I'm just giving you an example. You tell about stuff, it's not just a real issue. You tell about this verse revealed to addressing the woman that come to you, complaining. So God revealed verse to answer the woman about marital issue. People can tell me married from never since until then till now. So it's the real issue on the ground. Now that's the real issue. It's giving you so many rules and do's and don'ts that people have to obey. Don't say I'm going to do such a thing tomorrow without say inshallah. So if a Muslim from no one, or if he says tomorrow, you say inshallah. That practice never started now. The practice go back from 7th century till now.
Right.
No, also, while he have to obey those orders and manifest in his action and further statement, he also have to pray. When he pray, he also reciting what the ruling and the outward linguistic what the ruling says, the wording, he recite the wording again while he's praying.
Okay, so
what I'm saying that from the time in 7th century when the prayer has been allowed to pray, there has been practice. Muslim has been praying in congregation.
Okay, so how can someone confirm?
So you have from then you also have memories of Quran from then until now.
Right.
Yes, because of the teaching, the unbreakable chain of teaching. Those memories are teaching students to memorize, and every day you have a class going on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now some other part of the world which is the day someone teaching in a madrasa in Kunduz in Afghanistan. So this ongoing practice, repeatedly unbreakable with no train. Every teacher has current teacher and student, they can point back to their teacher. Their teacher can say, well, that person was my teacher, that person was my teacher, he was alive in such and such age, that was my teacher, and he can go back to a companion, and companion say, oh, that was my teacher, and the companion say, okay, that person, they come back to the third generation, then they go to the other generation after the companion generation, and they can say, well, that's my teacher. They can point to their teacher from the companion, and the companion can say, well, but we was with the prophet, we learned it from the prophet.
Right. So, but if someone wanted to confirm that they were praying properly and that they're doing the actions right and then doing the recitation of the Quran in the right sequence, how would they go to find documentation to know that that is correct?
It have to be that they were doing the right sequence, because what was dictated upon them, it was an ongoing action and recital that you can't break from. It's impossible to break from it. Because you have to pray for it, and you have to be reciting.
Okay, but then what if someone decides to inject some deception? You need some way of making sure that they're not trying to trick you, isn't it?
Or they're gonna inject deception when the verse revealed the prophet, the Quran was complete when the prophet was alive. Allah compile the Quran and the art of the prophet first, and then also extend it to some company like Zayn bin Thabit, Zayn and Ibn Masud. You have memorizers who memorized by Quran, but not only that memorizer, they were memorizers and sitting stagnant. They were memorized and they were utilizing teaching, and you have to pray out only the prayer. Ramadan they have to recite the whole Quran. Every year annually, you have a month of Ramadan. Those who memorize have to be leading the prayer and saying the whole Quran.
Yeah, but that.
And every day every single day, 5 times you have to pray reciting the Quran again. So I'm saying to you, and plus he also, the Quran is also something that dictates the person's action, do's and don'ts. You have to be living it the same way.
Right, but
The rules and Islam, the whole country was governed by it. The rules and the laws, so it have to apply in that term. So, and plus these men memorize that we have to recite every day. How you gonna forget it when you have to be saying it every day? You know, I say I'm from London. I keep saying it like you're crazy. Tell children, never stop saying it. That means because of the ongoing state of saying it, that means you don't forget it. Because you never stop saying it. You see what I'm saying? It's impossible.
right.
And then if you can prove the narrative, the teachers and the student, and you can prove an unbreakable chain of teachers and students, where you could trace back to that generation, every single generation ahead, where that generation met their teacher, that teacher met the other teacher, they met them in person, and the other one met the other teacher in person, and you can go back to the third generation, after Prophet the second generation, who's the teacher for them is the first generation of the company, they will show for sure the company and make Prophet Muhammad.
Oh, anyway, by the way, I found your Usman Quran. It says the parchment manuscript is now held in the library of Tel Ashak Mosque in the old Hash Imam area of Tashkent, close to the grave of Kafar Shashi, a 10th century Islamic scholar. A folio containing a page from
What source is this?
Wikipedia. It says a folio containing a page from the Surah Al-Anbiya is held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. It says the manuscript is incomplete. It begins in the middle of verse 7 of the second surah and ends at surah 43, ayah 10. The manuscript has between 8 and 12 lines to the page, and showing its antiquity, the text is devoid of vocalization. So it looks like you don't have a full Uthman Quran, unless you can find me another.
There we go again. You're missing the part again. What is the Quran? What is the Quran? You know what is the Quran?
Yeah, it's 114.
What is the Quran? It's a recital. I keep telling them, but I don't know why the Christians they don't learn when we tell them nothing. The Quran doesn't need a document writing for it to preserve.
Yeah, but
because what? There's never a time, unlike the Jews and whatsoever, that becomes still they can stop practice. There's never a time where you have people stop practice on a large scale.
Right, okay.
So and depends what they're practicing. They practice something that they're repeating constantly every day. Every day there's a Quran class gone. From 7th century till now, every day there's a Quran class goes on with teacher and student. With a teacher that memorizes it by heart. And he can talk about his teacher that memorized, he can talk about them and he can talk about them. Right. And this memorizer, he didn't memorize something that it should just be like a souvenir with. It's not. It's something that he have to act upon. That's what the verse says. Read it, understand it, memorize it, and act upon its principle and order. Right. And the Quran also says, you should repeat its recital. So Allah give you the formula for it. I'm going to make you repeat this recital so that you never forget. Allah will actually tell you the formula in it.
Right, so, but the thing about it is, in how many ways was the Quran revealed?
Yeah?
How many ways was it revealed?
I'm saying that there in book format right there. Some people learn better by get something right. Me, because I used to be a songwriter, I learn better. I can dictate them something by heart. I can listen to something by heart and I remember it and I can repeat it. Yes. Some people learn better by seeing something on a paper. It helps with teaching some other people, depends on the capability. But I'm saying to you, we don't have to. That's why the scholar says, that's why Islamic scholar says, and they could make that statement from 7th century when the Quran is complete, and compiled on the art of Prophet Muhammad, not a paper and a pen, he compiled on his art.
And here's the interesting thing though, this original Quran that Uthman put together, it didn't have the marks in it.
All the Uthman put together. That's very important. All the Uthman put it together.
Well, he collected all the other versions of manuscripts and got the people who could recite it as well.
Where did he collect it from?
Well, from various people.
Where?
Well, I suppose
the Quran was compiled before Uthman. The first caliph was...
It's collected. But Uthman had to standardize it.
What means standardize? Why did he standardize it?
Well, because the people in Sham and Iraq, they were disputing about the verses, and they're always coming to blows.
What did they don't dispute them about verses? The people themselves who was having a dispute, they're ignorant themselves.
Yeah, so
can you say one thing? They're ignorant about the point. So, why Christians don't tell them what we try to say in this? They're ignorant about the point. Yes, about the different ways of recital. Because those individual, and today you have Muslims still do it. You see you reciting, but you don't know all the way that was approved from Allah to Jibril to teach the Prophet all those 7 different ways of reciting. So Allah relating to the people who represent the tongue. Like for me from Jamaica, I have problem pronouncing the H. So in the Quran there is a dialect that will go well with me. Allah relenting out of mercy to the people. Allah sent Jibril to come and teach him. We have the same incident with the second caliph and another companion. The second caliph here companion was reciting, was praying, and he was reciting. And he says when he finished, no, he didn't let him finish first. Because he have etiquette, he let him finish first, and then he grabbed him. He says, what is this? Second caliph was, you think of the second caliph didn't know that was Quran? And then he brings to the Prophet. The Prophet says, he says, you recite. And he says, you recite. And then he corrected Omar. He says, Omar, did you not know that Jibril came to me and he teach me all these things? He said, you are correct and he is also correct. He teach me all these different ways of reciting.
But you realize what you just done?
No, I said to you, I'm saying, what I just done. I'm saying if it approved from the revelation source, well I agree with that, I know you don't agree, but I'm saying it approved from the source that give him the revelation that Jibril came and teach him all those ways, approve of all those different ways. No, what happened now, when we get back to Uthman time now,
he destroyed all those ways.
No, listen, I'm going to give you the background. When we get back to Uthman time, Uthman know about the 7 different things. Because he wasn't ignorant, he know about it. But then people, they themselves were writing their own Quran out with their hand. Like if today when children go Quran class here, when they go Quran class, they write it on board and they write it back out in their own book. Yes. But when my children write it back in their own book and come home and try to reverse that because what the teacher write on the board. What my children write in their own book as they copy after Quran what the teacher write on the board, yeah? That's not the blueprint. Is it the blueprint that was in the house of the wife of the Prophet that was already compiled in one thing there?
But it didn't have the marks, did it?
Eh?
It didn't have the diacritical marks.
But did they not recite it? Did they couldn't recite it?
Yeah, but that means that when they recited it, they could vary the sounds, couldn't they? If those marks aren't there.
So they couldn't read it without that? They could recite it without that?
No, but they could vary the sounds, couldn't they, without those marks?
I mean they couldn't vary.
No, because those marks are there to make the pronunciation specific.
If it's audio, would you need the mark? You see, you still go back in written format. Before you go down into a book format, and the Quran was recited to the Prophet hear it, he hears it, and he says it back to them. Can you see the mark in his mouth coming out?
Yeah, but no, it's
Can you see the mark in his mouth coming out?
No.
You can't see the grammar. Do you need the grammar then?
Yeah, but notice he didn't work though, did it? Because they had that dispute in Sham.
What have the dispute? Dispute is not about marking.
No, but
the dispute is about ignorant people didn't know that there's different dialogue that is approved by the authority source. Today I still have it, somebody in my research that says, because I say Walam yakul lahu kufuwan. I say no, say Walam yakun. But you don't know that yakun and yakul both is acceptable, both is fit into a dialogue that was approved by the source that teaches the messenger, which is from the angel coming from God himself.
But then wouldn't only one of them be right if you go by the marks?
One of them can be right. If God himself approve and say all of them is acceptable, anyone you can do.
No, but I mean
how come one of them right?
No, but I mean the marks which are in the Quran now.
I'm talking about the dialect teach when there's no mark not needed. All the dialect teach when there's no mark needed. There's no mark there. I'm talking about the time of Prophet Muhammad on him. He's still there. He there and he's teaching. He there. He get the teaching of all the 7 different ways of recital. Remember at the time of Prophet Muhammad there's no book. There's none. Abu Bakr says when Omar came to him and says all the office the memorizer. What this Omar says? Memorizer of Quran. They died out in the back of the veil. He didn't say all of them. He give a warning. Not all of them didn't die out, but he says we don't want to lose all of them in that way. So he give a preventive method. Abu Bakr says what Omar says. The office, the memorizer of Quran. We have a couple memorizer there. And we will have a potential to have more because the teaching system that never stops. Every day people learn and teaching. Because the emphasis about the teaching. We wouldn't go to the masjid and learn a verse. He put strong emphasis on them going to keep learning and memorizing. Allah says, I'm going to make you keep repeating the recital so you never forget. Prophet used to repeat it so often, the companions used to follow him and repeat so often. Ibn Masud used to finish the Quran every 2 days and start back on the 3rd day, that's his first day after the 2 days again, he just repeat the cycle. He lived his life like that till he died.
You said Ibn Masud was it?
Ibn Masud, I don't remember which one if it's Ibn Masud.
But isn't he the one that has a different Quran then?
There's no different Quran.
No, he's the one with a different number of surahs.
I'm just saying to you, that is what I'm saying to you. Ibn Masud, if the Quran is in there, Ibn Masud didn't have a different Quran.
No, but the surah number was different.
Ibn Masud didn't have a different Quran. Ibn Masud know the other 3 kuls, but Ibn Masud, he didn't mix them in his, when he write down something, he didn't mix them in his writing, because I think he didn't need to mix them, but he knows it. He heard the Prophet recite it in prayer. He prays behind the Prophet while the Prophet reciting those kuls in prayer. If he heard the Prophet reciting those kuls in prayer, why didn't he put it in his text? Because he separated them, because I think they were just for us, like because those verses like seeking refuge, you know, and it's a protection for you from evil spirit and everything.
Right.
Those 3 kuls. So I think because maybe he categorized and he cannot put it in a different thing there. But it doesn't mean he did not know it's not Quran. He knows it's Quran. Because he knows that when you pray, Ibn Masud know that you recite Quran. Ibn Masud, he prayed by the Prophet and the Prophet recite the whole Quran, including those 3 kuls. He knows the Prophet recite those 3 kuls. So he's not naive about it. But in his own personal thing, if you want him, when he in the writing format, when you pray, you also recite them as well. Yes. So because when he's want to protect himself from evil spirit and this thing, and you have to blow in his hand before you go to bed, you have to recite those 3 kuls.
So do Muslims recite that now?
Yeah, Muslims recite it. See petition night when they sleep, you rub yourself, and you rub yourself up.
But where are those, the 3 kuls you're talking about, where are those noted down?
I'm saying to you, even though if Tina never mentioned it, he knows it's Quran, but even if he didn't mention it in there, when he put in the format, in the writing format, because remember I said to you, when the Quran was in writing format, then that means that none of it didn't mention then. But the Quran was still there. The Quran was compiled into the art of performance before no writing format.
Well, no, apparently it was written on some things, because Tabit used to write, Zayd bin Tabit used to write some things.
Yes,
no?
you're right, sorry, yes, you're right. So even though, the Quran said Zayd bin Tabit to get the ink pad and the pen cup.
Yeah.
And he used to write on different, because obviously there's no paper, nothing like that, and camel shoulder blade, palm tree fiber, different thing that you have, papyrus and stuff like that. So he used to write on those things. Prophet used to come out, when the revelation used to recite and tell him to write. Even though the Prophet himself, he cannot read and cannot write. But if even that person cannot read and write, that's an obstacle to you, for you to tell him, if I can't read and write, are you telling me, say this after me, and I'm saying, say so. I can echo it back because I hear it. I grew up in society, I know the language you're using. So I can echo back the words that you want me to echo back. It doesn't matter that me cannot read and write, doesn't prevent me from echoing back what you want me to echo.
Right.
So therefore then he tells Zayd bin Tabit, when I recite, then you write after me. And after you write, read back your right and your paper. When you read back, if the person who can write, read back what they write, even though the one who was recited first cannot write, which is Prophet some peace upon him. But because he knows what he recited to him, when he write it down, those who can write very well, and when he recite it back, he will know, because I just recite that to you, will know that you recite back the same thing back to me. You recite to me, I'm writing. You say recite back to me what I just tell you. So I tell you back, I'm from London. You know that you just tell me the same thing that I'm from London, you know, because it's just a sharp span behind each other. So that's the way how did and all those stuff. No, all those stuff was compiled in the house of Hafsa, I think, one of the Prophet's wife.
Well, he gave, after he compiled it, he gave a copy back to Hafsa,
Yeah.
Because he used Hafsa's
I'm talking about Abu Bakr after.
That was before.
So even the Quran was compiled in the art of Prophet.
And given to Hafsa. Yeah, Hafsa.
Quran was compiled in the art of Prophet. Yes. Because when he was reading about in Ramadan, when he was leading in prayer and he was reciting the whole Quran, Prophet, he didn't have to hold back the book in his hand. Prophet was reading from it, off his dome, straight, off his heart, straight. That means he memorized the whole Quran and he had finished Ramadan. The practice has been there until now, unbreakable practice. No, I'm saying so what Abu Bakr did it done? Because Omar says memorize of Quran. That tell you something that there actually was a system going on that people were actually memorizing. That actually would tell you that's actually proved it himself. So the Prophet Abu Bakr, because he cared about following the Prophet's footsteps so much, he says I fear to do something that the Prophet did not do. Yes, but obviously I think he put up and give some time between it. But if he gives some time between it, when he come back again, and he choose to do it, we did not know if he had a dream or we do something called istikara, which is the Prophet also teach it.
I think
The Prophet teach that time will come, the believer dream will come true. I mean, after when he leave, we talk about prophesies about this. The believer will dream thing and it will come true like he dreamed it.
Okay.
The Prophet also teaches that you can seek Allah counsel in a matter. If you decide, none of you decided up to a matter. So if Abu Bakr decided, say, no, I'm deciding to take my advice, you know, he did have to do istikara because the Prophet teach him that. Let none of you decide upon a matter, but let him do his udu and pray to Raqqa, seeking Allah's counsel, istikara. And you get the answer. That which you decided to do, I said, you only should do the istikara after you decided. You must not be when you're confused when you don't know which direction to go. You have to choose a direction first. So you decide upon a direction where to go, and you seek Allah's counsel upon that direction. I said, Allah, if this is what I decided to do, if it's good for me, then give it to me. If it's bad for me, you keep it distant away from me. That's the way you have to say the istikara. So say, for example, Abu Bakr decided to say, you know, I'm going to take all my advice. You know. Good advice, I'm going to take it. But it's scared to do something the Prophet never did, but I'm going to take that advice. It sounds good, I'm going to take this advice to compile the Quran in that format here. Yes? From this, I'm going to get back this office of Quran. We repeat the Quran, we know the Quran by heart and repeat it every day, living it anyway, repeat it every day, saying the prayer. I'm going to get them together and then tell them to recite and write it out. Yes? No. So the thing is, no. I write it. I'm gonna get there to this Quran, this thing here. I'm gonna collect what I can collect what is already written and the paraphrase from this thing here. Cause keep that part. Just remember that. Cause he collect whatever he can, get the office of Quran at the same time to verify if it's true. So he have so much tool working against him. He have what the Prophet was Zayd bin Thabit and me, right? He get those, then he also get the office of Quran. Ibn Masud, Zayd bin Thabit was also office of Quran. No? Not that he was only writing, was also office at the same time, you know. Let's not forget that. So you get them, let's reaffirm if this thing is true. Yes? Then put it on the one in that collection of it here, in that one in that one Quran volume here of and different fibers and stuff like that. No, I'm saying if Abu Bakr decided to go along and do that, what he will do, he would have go away, which is called istikar, which is some teaching that they have to do it. He would have go away, and because he decided, I said that this thing I decided to compile this thing, the Quran in this way, is if it's bad for me, if it's good for me, give it to me. If it's bad for me, he's praying to God, he will seek God counsel. If it's good, if it's bad for me, keep me distant away from it. Now the sign that he will get now is that thing which he decided to do, he will find the sign is based upon ease. God will make it easy for him, like every evidence will burst out for him to go ahead after. God will make it easy for him to see it after, with some things will happen after, like he will see it easy, or if you try forward to do it, it will happen so easy will achieve. Like somebody has come, someone is saying it. Yeah, but anything that geared towards the same subject, he will see it. God will give him sign, maybe through someone has come or other people, whatever it is, but towards the same thing that he decided to. And then he will know. But if you have difficulty, like something has come up as a difficulty, then because of the difficulty is the answer from God, that you shouldn't go ahead with it.
Yeah, but notice you're saying that about Abu Bakr, but notice how Uthman was more brutal though.
I'm saying to you before we get to that.
Alright.
So Abu Bakr, that's a full compiled Quran right there. Office of Quran, what he collected, people who know the Quran by heart. Yes. Ibn Masud, Zayd bin Thabit, all of them, they know Qur'an, they know all of them by heart. They know them. So we make a full compiled Quran there.
Yeah.
Now we move forward now to Uthman, for example. Yeah. Move forward to,
well, that was the next incident, really.
Yeah. So people out there now, teachers and students mostly. Like I said, people writing their own Quran. People know the several different. Some people might know, some might not know. Like at the time when Omar didn't know, but now he knows. So Omar will never put up somebody again when they hear the reciting in that way, because he knows it's approved by the higher source. So, but still some other people out there who don't know, because Muslim population is growing. stretch over to Syria and all over.
Anyway, it wasn't long before Uthman was stabbed, though, was it? Sorry, Umar was stabbed. Did he last that long, though?
No, I don't think he lost that.
No.
No, Omar lived till 63. Same thing.
But how many years was he caliph?
They live the same age as the Prophet now. Prophet died at 63, Abu Bakr died at 63, Omar died at 63. It's some miracle. Same age they died. The thing is, so Uthman now, people, same roof coming up, like what happened in time. Uthman know all about that story, I know about that experience. People, Uthman know, despite the different dialect, but Uthman say, okay then, save all of that. Yeah? Doesn't mean that what they're saying is wrong. Is that Uthman saying, okay then?
But it sounded different.
People out there writing their own stuff. Brother, you write your poem, you have your blueprint. People see a story and they start writing and they write in different language and start changing the thing out there. You can say, okay then no, listen, I have the blueprint. Doesn't matter what they have, whether they right or they wrong, physical argument, whether they right or they wrong, it's irrelevant. Because I am the poem writer, I have the blueprint. Nobody will ever challenge your blueprint, because you is the heart of it.
Aren't there multiple...
You understand the point I'm saying there? So when Uthman got to send for what was in the house of the Afsa with Abu Bakr in there, that's the blueprint there.
Yeah.
So when he sent for the blueprint, Uthman is saying to them, whether wrong or right, get rid of all of that for safety method. We have the blueprint.
Well, they had to send them all to him, isn't it?
Yeah, but we have the blueprint, whether wrong or right. You're gonna argue over this thing, Despite those in knowledge know that those different recital thing there it's sound. It's approved from my source. Those who have knowledge, they can use it, they have no problem. They can recite any one of them, no problem. But if the ignorant gonna argue that Uthman did something, Uthman says, whatever you write over there with yourself, whatever you have in the hand, just get rid of that. It doesn't mean that Uthman is telling them that they're wrong. They could actually get through that. They could actually write their own Quran over there. From the Quran, because students they write back stuff that they learn in their class and could write and get in 1 and 2 things right. But they could actually have things that they get right in, but Uthman said either way just get, because I sure this is the right one in the Prophet's wife house. That makes more sense to me. He says this is the blueprint, in other words. So it's no point, we don't really need that. We don't need to look into it and scrutinize, because take all the scrutinize you and say you saying this. Either Uthman himself no Quran. Omar no Quran. The office of Quran they know, Ibn Masud they know Quran. Because they were there in that time, say man. So get rid of what you have this. Just rid of irrelevant, whatever your argument is about. This is nobody gonna argue against the blueprint. Nobody will argue against blueprint. So after that, no. So what's Uthman do? Get rid of that there, because people don't understand that the Prophet actually teach that when you're gonna get rid of Quran writing, you actually burn it or bury it.
Right.
The Prophet himself teach it. So when Uthman did that, Uthman would actually follow the Prophet order, or to get rid of Quranic writing on paper. So then when the Quran writing get the Quran maybe because paper deteriorates, and that's paper. Writing it all on a paper, because paper is a material that get old. When you're ready.
Yeah.
Paper is a material that get old. People teach that if any Quran writing thing, if you should put it away, dispose it. Do it by bury it in the ground or burn it. The Prophet to give them that teaching. So because Uthman saying okay, Uthman don't want other people to start. If you leave them to destroy it, to get rid of it by themselves, some might not get rid of it. They might disrespect the Quran in other ways that you should not. Uthman know those two ways the Prophet give them. You burn or you bury. Uthman know that. So Uthman as a leader and an authority where the people listen to Uthman say, you bring them to me. Then he burn it in that way. He didn't need to look at it, because he have blueprint. Why do I look when I have the blueprint?
Right, but you know the current Quran you have, isn't it put together by this guy, what's his name? His name now.
So I'm saying we're gonna get to the part. We know it. We're gonna get to the part. So Uthman said, put together. We have the blueprint here. We're gonna put this in the Prophet's primary dialect. I think come on first. Before Allah send the angel to teach him in the other extra dialect. The primary one. We're gonna put it now in the Kurdish dialect, with the Prophet the first language, right? Because since you're gonna bicker about argument stuff, there's not a problem there. You can recite in different dialect, but the ignorant Muslim out there, they still have the problem. And I'm saying today, even some Muslims still have that problem. And then the brother, why you fighting? The brother can recite. The one who's leading the prayer can recite that way, because both of them is approved, is acceptable by the higher authority. So the Prophet says, Jibril, teach me those ways. It's fine. You correct and him is correct.
But you know, Adnan Rashid wouldn't be happy at you saying that.
Yeah, I don't know shit. So I'm saying to you now. So the yes. So he burn all of the way because it's the way he's following instruction is the way, or if you want to dispose the thing that you do that way as well. So he's following that order, which is fine. And as an authority, as a ruler, people, he can do that. He can galvanize and he can put the information. He can get the blueprint out. He get the blueprint because he's a ruler. He get the blueprint out and say this is the blueprint. I'm sure of this, so that we don't have the problem. And then the people that accept, they agreed.
Yeah, well, he's a caliph, so they.
And it's correct, but the people gonna disagree with something the Prophet orders in then be to right.
No,
and the people that really love the Prophet and the following Prophet, would they disagree with something that the Prophet himself ordered the man to write and approve of it?
Well, no, but
it's only a little troublemaker who don't know that background knowledge would disagree. Because like I said, the Muslim thing start grow, people start converting to the Islam. So obviously you have people coming with lots of baggage from their background.
Yeah,
and some people with baggage they like tailorize something which is there to suit their desire because maybe their weakness.
But remember what the rebels did to Uthman, though.
Yes, and those were about some of those devious people who want to tailorize things. So Uthman says, I'd rather die before he circumvent to them. They'd have to kill him.
Yeah. Well.
You know, so I'm just saying, that was that, and the blueprint there. And even after the blueprint there, it doesn't mean those who have knowledge, who want to recite a different dialect, Uthman will never hear someone else reciting a different dialect than the Quraysh dialect. But long as it's approved that Uthman will never interrupt because Uthman have knowledge that.
Israelites will return to take down Islam.